In the last segment of the catching, we're going to go over one of the plays that are most messed up from big leagues to little league, and that's the bunt play. It's easy play, but most kids don't understand how to attack the ball. We want to always try to attack and get around the ball, and I'm going to show you. There's 4 different ways that we go after the ball. The first is ball down the line. The ball down the line, obviously the runner's going to be in your path. What we want to try to do is get the ball, we're going to step back, get our momentum going towards first base. The ball should be on your back foot. All right, that's with a ball that's moving. A ball that's dead, which is a do or die play, what we want to try to do is we're going to get in the same position, we're going to get around the ball, we're going to reach down, grab it, and throw right from there. We cannot afford to take a crow hop, so that's one of the things that you have to remember. When the ball is moving or it's stationary, 2 different ways to go at it. A ball that's directly out in front, what you have to also remember is a lot of guys want to stand straight up. What we want to try to do is drive towards the ball, get around it, set our feet, scoop it, bring it in, crow hop, and throw. It seems like an easy play, but a lot of times what happens in this is that guys will go directly at the ball. Now watch me. You're going directly at the ball. Now what do you have to do? You have to field it this way, turn all the way around, boom, and that might cause a little bit of a delay and cause the runner to be safe. Now, also, these balls here, there's 2 ways to go with these 2 balls here. You can either go around the ball here. Again, you don't want to go directly at it. You want to get around it, scoop it, crow hop, and throw. Now, remember, again, if the ball is dead, most of the time it's going to be a do or die play at first base. So what we want to try to do is still get around the ball, but we want to just grab it with one hand, get ourselves set to throw. If we don't, we're going to be late. Now, the other one that you can use here is turn around, show your back to first base, which was more difficult for me because I never wanted to lose sight of first base. If you lose sight of first base, no telling where that ball is going to go half the time. Again, what you want to try to do is get around the ball, set your feet, scoop it, and throw. Toughest play for a catcher to make is a ball down this line here. You make a ball down, if the ball is bunted down this line, it's really, really tough because it's more or less going to be a do or die play. Again, there's 2 ways to do it. You can get yourself around the ball here. If you have a slow runner and you think you have time, scoop, step, and throw. Or, again, you can take yourself around this way, around the ball, get yourself set to throw. The biggest thing with this is always to try to get your momentum towards the base that you were throwing. This is a play that more or less is late in the game, and you have a chance to win a game if you get an out on first base, even at second base. Same way with going into the second base or even third base. You always want to get to the ball, get your momentum towards the base that you were throwing. If you don't, you're going to have yourself, and I've done it myself a bunch of times, is you're going to get yourself running right at the ball. Now what do? Oh, I have no position to throw. Whereas if you can get yourself around the ball a little bit. And the other big thing too is that you can remember is your mask. The first thing you want to do is, I know they have these hockey masks and things like that, and they're tough to get off. If you want to leave it on, that's fine. But with a regular mask, you always want to just try to flip it directly behind you to get out of the way so you have nothing impairing your vision of the field so that you can get around the ball and make it a easy throw to first base and get an out late in the game that could possibly save your club a run. There's a couple of things that are left as far as our catching segment is concerned, and that is catchers are a field general. They need to know where everything is at. So catchers learn the game. That means when I go out on the field, I just don't take batting practice or whatever. I'm going to check the field. I'm going to make sure that the lines, I'm going to roll a couple of balls down the line, make sure which way it is rolling. And that is very essential on plays where it's do or die, and if you make a play, he's obviously going to be safe, but if you let it roll, it might roll out foul. So what we want to do is maybe get out a little bit early, roll a couple balls, see how both lines are rolling so that you have an idea what you want to do in case of a ball is a perfect bunt and you don't know whether to let it go fair or foul. Also, ball that is spinning, and I failed to mention this before, ball that is spinning and actually takes you to the inside part or the outside part of the line, we want to carry it forward. Your first baseman should adjust coming out so that you can make a throw. That is very basic, but it can cost you a game if you do not understand that if you get in this line here, 45-foot line, and that runner is inside his line and you hit him, he's automatically safe. Now, let me just tell you, if you do everything correctly, pick up the ball, step back, and that runner is inside the 45-degree line and you hit him, that is interference. So do not be afraid to throw the ball to the first baseman if he is inside the line. Umpires call, we're hoping that the umpire calls him out, but always remember, be aggressive. If the runner is inside that 45-degree line, you want to make sure you make a throw and let the umpire make a decision. One last thing that I want to talk about, and this is probably the biggest thing, is when we come out and get a bunt, and you see it time and time again, is where players will come out, they'll do everything perfectly, but when they look up as they're grabbing the ball, that's when they fumble it. And that's when you see a lot of times balls are messed up here. So make sure that when you go after a bunt that you keep your eye on the ball, make sure it's in your glove before you make any kind of decision or throw to first base. Always remember, this is an easy play, but let's do things correctly. This concludes our final segment of our catching course. Now remember, as a catcher, you have to practice every day. So I suggest that you go back through all the things that we covered in this segment and in the past segments so that you can be a better catcher. Remember, a catcher can always practice on every pitch, whether it be receiving, throwing, blocking, or whatever. The game starts with the pitcher, but the catcher has to finalize it. I'm John Tamargo, InsideBaseball.com.